Hey everyone, GScotty here. In this series, I try to get an hour of gameplay for every dollar spent on a certain game. So, with that in mind, is Tunic worth $1 an hour? Make sure to subscribe, hit that like button, and let's check it out. When it comes to reviewing games, I normally stick with games that I know, or at least have heard some things about, or have seen before, etc, etc. However, when friend and fellow member of the channel, 3Devil, bought Tunic for me, I hadn't seen much about the game before, besides the fact that it was nominated for a few rewards at the Game Awards of 2022. But 3 told me I'd love it, so I took them at their word. I had the game in my Steam library, waiting for just the right moment to review it. I saw that it was about to be 2 years old, so hey, why not review it right now? I opened up the game, ready to see what this game had in store for me. I got past the main menu, and... Oh no, I'm gonna start feeling things, aren't I? I had no idea that I was about to step into one of the most beautiful gaming experiences of my whole life. So, dear viewer and subscriber, I hope hit that dadgum subscribe button. Come along with me as I tell you about the harrowing journey I had as a little fox, unaware of the stunning adventure I was about to embark on. A man by the name of Andrew Schuldice began to work on a game that he called Secret Legend in February 2015. He quit his job at Silverback Games to pursue working on his game, but he didn't necessarily have much of a creative direction at the time. Later on, he said that his experience as a programmer wasn't enough to make the game he wanted, so he met with other individuals who would soon become key factors into helping the game come along. Though the road was tough, and Andrew even wanted to scrap the project entirely at one point, he and his team persevered, and because of that, Tunic was released on March 16th, 2022. To me, the story of Andrew wanting to create something and persevering to the end is inspiring, and I think he and the rest of Isometric Core made an absolutely wonderful game. Now, there are a lot of things in video games that make me not want to play them. One thing in particular that I wanted to touch on in today's review was confusing menus and hubs. In my opinion, there is nothing worse than feeling like you're digging through mountains of text, not knowing exactly what you're looking for or what the whole point of everything is. Honestly, with some games, it just feels like I'm reading an entirely different language, and I have no clue what the junk anyone is trying to tell me. What? Oh, no. This is peak. Absolutely peak. No, just hear me out. Just hear me out. This game has a lot of inspiration from Andrew's life. In particular, he had mentioned that he was inspired by his time as a kid, unable to comprehend and contextualize the video game manuals he had attempted to read. Hence, in this game, you have to discover what the game's mechanics are without the game just outright telling you. You think that something like that would be frustrating, but I found it to be a very creative way to involve the player. I genuinely would get giddy every time I was in the beautifully designed landscape and I found a small page from the game's manual. Figuring out how everything worked, from enemy weaknesses to the map, to what I should even be aiming for without telling me exactly what would happen if I found it, it gave me a sense of adventure that I had never really felt before. It makes you feel like you're not supposed to be in this land, but like in a really cool way that makes you just want to explore it even more. Now, this sense of wanting to explore wouldn't be anything to write home about if the world was bland, but I mean, look at this thing.
I can't imagine a more beautiful thing.
My goodness, this landscape is absolutely beautiful and adorable, actually. I love the clean, isometric visuals that are very aesthetically pleasing, along with the lighting engine that just makes everything pop and look so lovely, just so... Ugh, French kiss. Whoa, wait, no. Chef's kiss. The visuals also... The visuals also make for fun exploration and satisfying level design. You could be minding your own business in one area towards the beginning of the game, going down the path ahead, and hours later, you might discover a little path in a dungeon, and at the end of that path, wait, you're back at the beginning. What? That's incredible. The path was always there, but I just didn't know it. The game is littered with secrets like that, and it's genuinely satisfying to find something like a path, a treasure, so on and so forth, that was always there. You just didn't see it. Now let's talk about the combat. The combat in the game is very simple. You assign 3 weapons to your 3 buttons, minus the A button. You have a shield, you can dodge, and that's about it. It's very flexible, and it's fun to figure out what combinations and weapons can eviscerate your enemies. It reminds me of a Soul game, actually, like Dark Souls, Elden Ring, Bloodborne, where you can do anything you want to do, but at the price of having to check your stamina meter. Otherwise, you could run right into the enemy's attacks. I know some people will find the game's difficulty spikes that occur in the game, especially with the bosses, infuriating. But I'm the sucker who loves trying all sorts of strategies on hard bosses, and isn't bothered by having to attempt a boss fight over and over again. I welcome the challenge, and I thoroughly enjoy it, but I can see how some people wouldn't like that. All that being said though, I find that the sense of adventure that this game presents is something that should be experienced by everyone. Our story begins with a small fox awakening on a strange island, without anything in hand nor any knowledge as to what to do next. As the fox travels around, they pick up various items like a stick to attack, which soon gets replaced with a sword. They find potions and all kinds of other various items that can buff your stats. As you pick up breadcrumbs on how to play the game and what the way forward is, you discover an astral plane of existence, with another fox trapped on the other side of a mystical barrier. Okay, but what do you do with that knowledge now? Continuing on your way throughout the world, you encounter incredibly powerful bosses and other enemies who have harnessed a terrifying power they use for combat and other uses like pure energy. What is this incredible power? Where did it come from? I am not gonna tell you, actually. Look, I get it, this is the spoiler-filled portion of the video, but the realization of what this otherworldly energy came from shook me. It was so cool in a very twisted kind of way, and I want you to figure out what it is for yourself. In my opinion, the joy of this game is figuring things out for yourself. Just know that the story of this game is enjoyed so much more if you go in as blind as possible, without looking things up to help you. So here's a story for you. There's a mystery in this game about how to open a very large gate in the mountains. I was not being patient, and I looked up how to do it, and I felt so sad that I did. It was such a cool experience and everything. I wish that I discovered it by myself. There was so much clue finding and puzzle solving to be had, and just having the result made me realize how much fun I missed out on. This game celebrates the journey that you as the protagonist embarks on. Though the destination is remarkable and, in my opinion, very much worth it, the true joy I had, and I believe you'll have, was in the little victories I experienced because I was willing to explore, because I was willing to move forward, not knowing what was next. Tunic is so many things: a wonderful adventure, a chilling mystery, and the definition of vibes. I love when a game can make me smile and feel at peace, but I also love when a game makes me feel way over my head, and I'll have to fight tooth and nail for a victory. Somehow, this game perfectly mixes the two in wonderful harmony. When I first picked up Tunic, I had no idea what I was in for. I had no idea if I'd even like it. I'm so thankful that I got to play it though. It was such a wonderful game that I suggest anyone play it. Note that it is a lot harder than it appears. It looks like a very cute little fox just wandering around a cute little... Trust me, it is very, very difficult actually. Now, like I've said before, this game is best enjoyed blind without looking up anything. Discovering the world and its mysteries is by far the best part of this game. That being said, after you do everything, I can see some people not returning to play the game again. I know some people might not find it fun to re-experience a mystery once you already know what happens. However, even if you are one of those people, I still highly recommend this game. The experience I had playing Tunic was one that I will cherish for a long time. It reminded me of how I felt like when I was a kid, primed for adventure, maybe without fully understanding what all that entails. But onward I go, wishing to see what treasures lie ahead. So, what's the final verdict? Is Tunic worth $1 an hour? Yes, it's worth the price. A massive thank you to all of you who are members of the channel, especially the big patrons of the month, Telemachus826 and my pal Johnny Appleseed. If you want to support the channel and gain access to cool perks like exclusive videos, stream VODs, and more, Click the join button to learn how. Love, peace, and chicken grease. Bye-bye.